First question. Okay, what is a machine? Okay, which will have electrical energy, then mechanical energy. Both are present. Then that itself is called as a machine. Okay, if with respect to these machines, if you are provided AC power supply, then it is a AC machine. If you are provided with respect to the DC power supply, then which it is called as a DC machine. Okay, with respect to the DC machines are going to provide the DC power supply, then that DC power supply will be get used for the conversion of the mechanical energy. Those machines are itself is called as DC machines. Okay, with respect to these DC machines, there will be two machines. Okay, one is motor, then another one is generator. Again, there will be a question for what is motor. Okay, if you are provided a input electrical energy, okay, this electrical energy is DC power supply. But this electrical energy is got converted into a mechanical energy. That machine is itself is called as DC motor. Okay, the electrical machine which will converts the electrical energy into mechanical energy whose input is the DC electrical power supply. That itself is called as motor. Then what is the generator? Okay, generator is the electrical machine which will get provided with respect to the mechanical energy, but which is producing electrical energy. But this electrical energy output is in the form of the DC power supply. That itself is called as the DC generator. Is this clear now? What is generator? What is motor? Okay, these are the what? Two different types of DC machines. One is generator, then another one is motor. Then first we need to concentrate on DC generator. Okay, it means that the principle of the DC machine as a generator. If I am using a machine, okay, if that machine is acting as a generator with the provision of the DC power supply, then that itself is called as the DC generator. That is the electrical machine which converts the mechanical energy into electrical energy whose output is direct current. Then itself is called as the DC generator. Okay, then what is the working principle of DC generator? Already I have explained in previous class, that is the electromagnetic induction. If there will be a two poles N and S, then what happens? Which will causes the magnetic flux. Okay, whenever the current, whatever the conductor is there, this conductor is rotating in this magnetic field, then flux cut by the conductor will cause the induced EMF. Okay, whenever a conductor moved or rotate in magnetic field, that will cut across the lines of magnetic flux, then there will be a dynamically induced EMF in order to produce with respect to the EMF. That is according to the what? According to the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. The relative motion between magnetic flux and the conductor will cause the induced EMF. That itself is called as the dynamically induced EMF. That principle is itself is called as dynamically induced EMF principle. How that DC generator will work? Based on the dynamically induced EMF principle. Okay, this is with respect to the what? The principle of the DC generator. Okay, that is E equal to BLV into sin theta. Okay, in your PU level you might be heard about this. What is the EMF which it is induced in the conductor? B is what? Flux density Weber per meter square. L is length of the conductor in meter. V is velocity of the conductor. Theta is the angle between the direction. Okay, then whatever the EMF which it is induced will cause us to complete its path for the flow of current. Okay, this is what the normally we can use. This is for the generation point of view. Okay, but if there is no conductor is rotating, flux will be remain same. Then obviously there is no generation of the voltage. Okay, this is what the actual operation of the DC machine as a generator. Then what are the things you want? What are the requirement of the generating action? One with respect to the conductors, then another with respect to the magnetic flux. Third one is what? There should be a relative motion between conductor and the flux. Then only I can get magnetic flux, that is a EMF induced. If there is no relative motion, there is no change in flux. If there is no change in flux, there is no induced EMF. This is what the working principle of the DC generator. Okay, there will be a chance to be available. The stationary flux will cause the EMF induced in the conductor if the conductor is rotating. If the conductor is stationary, if the flux is rotating, then also we'll get the change in EMF. Okay, but EMF, whatever it is induced in the generator, is alternating in nature, but which is get converted into DC, that is by the use of commutator. Okay, that DC machine I will show, then I will explain there. Nothing to worry about it. Okay, this is what the basic principle of the DC generator, which is to be used in order to generate the electrical energy. That generator will convert mechanical energy into electrical energy based on the dynamically induced EMF principle. Okay, then second topic is what? The principle of the DC machine acting as a motor. Okay, what I told with respect to the motor, which will convert electrical energy into mechanical energy. But it is a DC motor. What is that electrical energy input? That should be direct current supply. If the DC power supply is given to the machine, if it is that DC electricity or the electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy, that itself is called as DC motor. What is the working principle of DC motor? Here, there will be two magnetic poles, N and S. Okay, but whatever the conductor is there, that conductor will be placed there in between that magnetic poles. If the supply is not given to windings, then it is called as generator, in turn which will supply the power to that of connected center or the load. But if you are given the power supply to this winding, will cause current to flow through it. Whenever current carrying conductor is placed in magnetic field, whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in magnetic field which experience a force or the torque, that is what working principle of DC machine as a motor. Okay, it means that whenever current carrying conductor is placed in the magnetic field, will experience the whatever the conductor is there on that conductor which experiences the mechanical force. Because of that reason, the electrical energy will be get converted into mechanical energy. What is that force which is produced? In your PU level, you might be studied this. F is equal to BIL into sin theta. B is what? Flux density. I is current. L is length. Okay, sin theta. Theta is the what? The displacement angle with respect to that which it is rotating. Okay, this is the what? The working principle of the DC machine as a motor. One of the question paper they have asked, explain the working principle of the DC machine as a motor and generator. You need to explain this one. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
All of listening me now what I am explaining, getting now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, if I am fast, then you can ask. Okay, then I will proceed properly. Nothing to worry. Is it everybody is comfortable now? Reply me. Raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Drop your hands. Okay, that is what? That is magnetic force. Okay, the force of action which is taking place with respect to the magnetic flux. Okay, that is shown here. Okay, that is the what? The practical DC motor, how it will produce the mechanical energy. Next, the construction of the DC generator. Okay, here you have to remember this diagram. Okay, this is also be most repeated in the examination. Okay, take a screenshot, copy this diagram in your notes. It should be get updated there. Okay, in offline class, I will verify. Okay, this diagram you are drawn or not. Okay, take the screenshot, then same diagram you should draw. Okay, what is the construction of the DC generator? What are the parts are to be present? Okay, this is the what? The schematic diagram for or the line diagram for the DC generator. Okay, generator and motor, the construction will be remain same. There is no difference at all. Okay, if you are giving the mechanical energy, which will act as a generator. If you are giving electrical energy, which will act as a motor. That is only the difference. Okay, the rotating part. Okay, this is the rotating part of the DC machine. Okay, it itself is called as armature. Okay, which it is having armature slots. These armature slots carries the armature conductor. Okay, which armature conductors are get connected to the commutator. Then over this commutator, carbon brushes are present. Okay, these are what? Carbon brushes. Okay, then whatever this circular diagram is there, then which is showing this slot. Okay, that is called as commutator. The function of commutator is to convert induced AC to DC. It means that whatever EMF which it is induced in the machine is AC, but I need to convert that into DC. That will be done by this commutator. This will act as the mechanical rectifier. Okay, rotating part of the DC machine is called as armature. This armature having armature slots. These armature slots carries the armature conductor. These armature conductors are made up of by copper. These armature conductors are get connected to the commutator. The function of the commutator is to convert induced AC to DC. Over this commutator, the carbon brushes are placed. Okay, what is the function of these carbon brushes? In order to collect the induced EMF. Whatever the EMF which it is to be induced, in order to collect that induced EMF, these carbon brushes are used. Okay, this is with respect to the what? Rotating part. Then there will be a stationary part. Outer covering of the machine is itself is what? The stationary part. Okay, it is rotating part means which will have a mechanical energy. Then outer covering of the machine is itself is called as yoke. Okay, this yoke will carry the number of poles. Okay, this is pole, this is also B pole, this is also B pole, this is also B pole. Normally we'll call that as main poles. What is the function of main pole? In order to produce the magnetic flux in it. The function of main pole is to produce the magnetic flux. Okay, these poles are carried the field winding. Okay, these poles are carries the field winding itself. Then that pole is also be having a pole core. Okay, these are the what? The major parts and its function. Then eye bolt is used in order to carry the machine from one position to another position. Then base is what? The support for this rotating machine, that is called as base. These are the what? The different parts of the DC generator and its function. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, once you go through the explanation, okay, we'll understand what is the function of all these things. Okay, the same thing I will repeat, that is in your laboratory. Okay, because in our electrical machines lab, we have this DC generator. How this DC generator is there, I will show that. I will recall all these parts. But you need to copy this diagram in your notes compulsorily.